The beginning, the edge of the world. At the southern tip of South America lies one of the planet's last true wildernesses, Patagonia, the bottom of the world. Stretching over 400,000 square miles, this vast region is shared by Argentina and Chile, divided by the spine of the Andes. To the west, Chilean Patagonia is a tangled labyrinth of fjords, glaciers, and islands, where mountains dissolve into the sea. To the east, the Argentine side opens into endless plains, salt lakes, and towering cliffs that seem to stretch beyond the horizon. Despite its immense scale, Patagonia remains sparsely populated, home to only a few hardy settlements scattered across its wild expanse. Here, nature reigns supreme. The winds are relentless, the weather unpredictable, and the landscapes untouched by modern excess. The region's isolation has preserved its raw beauty, making it feel like a place outside of time. Patagonia is more than a location on a map. It's a symbol of the frontier spirit. To reach its farthest edges is to travel to the very end of civilization, where roads fade and only the elements remain. The documentary opens with sweeping shots of glaciers cracking, waves crashing against rocky shores, and clouds racing over the Andes. Through this imagery, Patagonia reveals its essence, a land where earth, water, ice, and sky converge in breathtaking harmony. Standing at this edge of the world, viewers are reminded of humanity's smallness and the vast, untamed power of nature that still endures, unbroken, pure, and eternal. 2. Tierra del Fuego, the land of fire. At the southernmost tip of South America lies Tierra del Fuego, the fabled land of fire. Despite its fiery name, this is a realm of ice, wind, and water, a place where the world seems to unravel into islands and storms. The name itself dates back to 1520, when Ferdinand Magellan's crew first sailed through the cold mist of the strait that now bears his name. From their ships, they saw flickering lights along the shores, the campfires of the native Yagan people, and thus christened the region Tierra del Fuego, the land of fire. This archipelago, divided between Chile and Argentina, is a landscape of contradiction. The Chilean side is a maze of fjords, glaciers, and channels, while Argentina's portion stretches across windswept grasslands, bogs, and forests of twisted beech trees perpetually bent by the fierce southern gales. The elements rule here. The cold bites, the wind never sleeps, and silence feels ancient. Among these rugged lands stands Ushuaia, often called the end of the world. Founded in the late 1800s by Anglican missionaries among the Yagan, it later became a penal colony, Argentina's version of Siberia. Prisoners were sent so far south that escape was unthinkable. The wilderness itself became the prison. The convicts cut timber, built railways and docks, and unintentionally laid the foundations for the modern city. Today, Ushuaia is a paradox. Once a place of exile, now a gateway for explorers and travelers heading toward Antarctica. Fishing boats, ferries, and research ships fill its harbor, and the old prison stands as a museum of endurance and transformation. Here, at the world's edge, the human spirit meets the raw indifference of nature and learns to coexist with it. 3. The Beagle Channel and Les Éclaireurs Lighthouse. Stretching between Argentina and Chile, the Beagle Channel is one of Patagonia's most storied waterways, a narrow, cold corridor that threads through islands, glaciers, and cliffs at the southern edge of Tierra del Fuego. The channel takes its name from HMS Beagle, the ship that carried a young Charles Darwin through these waters in the 1830s. Here, the Atlantic and Pacific almost meet, separated only by a maze of fjords and rocky coves. Sailing through the Beagle Channel feels like moving through a living wilderness. The air is sharp, the sea a mirror of steel blue light, and rocky outcrops are crowded with sea lions, cormorants, and albatrosses. These creatures thrive in conditions that humans can barely endure. Their calls echo across the wind, reminders that this is a domain ruled by nature alone. In the middle of the channel stands a lonely sentinel, the Les Éclaireurs Lighthouse, completed in 1920. Its name means the Scouts in French, given by early explorers to the small chain of islets on which it stands. The lighthouse rises 33 feet above the waves, painted in red and white stripes, and flashes every 10 seconds, visible for nearly 7 nautical miles. Unlike many beacons of the Old World, Les Éclaireurs has never been inhabited. It's automated, maintained remotely by Argentina's Navy. Often mistaken for the lighthouse at the end of the world from Jules Verne's 1905 novel, Les Éclaireurs carries its own quiet mythology, a symbol of human presence amid vast emptiness. Around it, small boats drift past, dwarfed by glaciers spilling into the sea. The wind howls, the waves break, and the light continues to pulse, a steadfast flame at the edge of civilization, guiding those who dare to navigate the end of the earth. 4. The Drake Passage and Cape Horn. Beyond the calm waters of the Beagle Channel lies the Drake Passage, one of the roughest and most treacherous stretches of ocean on Earth. This narrow body of water separates South America from Antarctica, connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. Here, waves can reach heights of over 30 feet, and winds roar endlessly, earning the passage a reputation as a sailor's nightmare and a test of endurance for even the most experienced mariners. Amid the gray mist and towering swells rises Cape Horn, the final windswept headland of the continent. First rounded in 1520 by Ferdinand Magellan and later named by Dutch navigators, Cape Horn soon became a critical route for global trade. Before the Panama Canal opened in 1914, ships had no choice but to brave this perilous passage to move goods between Europe, Asia, and the Americas. Thousands of vessels made the journey. Many never returned, claimed by sudden storms or hidden reefs. For centuries, Cape Horn stood as a symbol of both human daring and nature's supremacy. The sailors who rounded it successfully were seen as heroes, marked by courage and luck. Even today, the Cape remains dangerous. Its shifting winds, fog, and unpredictable currents challenge every vessel that dares to pass. Yet in its danger lies beauty. Towering cliffs plunge into dark, churning seas, and seabirds soar above the foam. The ocean here feels alive, ancient, and untamed. Standing at Cape Horn is like standing on the very edge of the world, where land ends and the great southern waters begin. 5. Laguna Esmeralda and the Strait of Magellan. North of Ushuaia, a narrow trail winds through forests and peat bogs toward one of Tierra del Fuego's hidden treasures, Laguna Esmeralda, or Emerald Lake. True to its name, the water glows in surreal shades of turquoise and green, a color born from glacial silt suspended in the meltwater. Surrounded by snow-capped peaks and whispering winds, the lake feels untouched, as if it belongs to another time. On sunny days, its surface mirrors the sky like glass. When clouds gather, it turns opaque, hiding its secrets beneath silver light. The Albino Glacier, nestled between two cliffs, feeds the lake year-round, ensuring that this jewel of Patagonia never loses its brilliance. Further north, the land breaks apart again into sea and islands, the realm of the Strait of Magellan, one of history's most legendary maritime passages. In 1520, Ferdinand Magellan became the first European to navigate this twisting waterway, connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. It took his crew 38 harrowing days to thread through fog, fierce currents, and uncharted coasts. Before the construction of the Panama Canal, the Strait of Magellan was the southern gateway to the world, the only navigable route for ships rounding the continent. Despite its unpredictable weather, sudden fog, powerful winds, and shifting tides, it became a vital artery of exploration and trade. Today, modern vessels still use the strait: cargo ships, research boats, and cruise liners heading for Antarctica. Even with satellite maps and engines of steel, crossing it feels like stepping into an era of discovery. The wildness remains, the same cold air, the same restless sea, reminding every traveler that Patagonia is not a place conquered, but a place that must be respected. 6. Puerto Natales and Torres del Paine National Park, 300 words. At the southern tip of Chilean Patagonia lies Puerto Natales, a small port town surrounded by mountains and icy fjords. Its name, Ultima Esperanza, meaning last hope, was given by an explorer who nearly perished searching for a northern passage. Fittingly, the town feels like both an ending and a beginning, the final touch of civilization before the wilderness of Torres del Paine National Park unfolds. Founded in the early 1900s, Puerto Natales began as a hub for sheep ranchers and wool traders. Immigrants from Britain, Croatia, and Chile settled the area, building vast ranches or estancias across the open plains. Today, the town thrives on tourism rather than trade. Its quiet waterfront filled with fishing boats, eco-lodges, and travelers bound for the mountains beyond. A few hours north rises Torres del Paine, perhaps the most breathtaking landscape in South America. Dominated by massive granite towers, jagged Cuernos del Paine peaks, and countless turquoise lakes, the park is a living masterpiece carved by glaciers over 12 million years. The name Paine means blue in the native Tehuelche language, and indeed everything here carries that hue: the sky, the ice, the water, even the shadows. The weather is notoriously unpredictable. Rain, sun, and snow can arrive within an hour, but that volatility is part of its charm. Visitors come not for comfort, but for perspective. Torres del Paine teaches humility. It reminds us how fragile and powerful nature can be. As night falls, the wind howls through the valleys, the peaks glow faintly in the moonlight, and the vast silence of Patagonia settles in, ancient, untamed, and profoundly alive. 7. The Cave of the Milodon, Echoes of a Lost World. Just outside Puerto Natales, hidden among wind-carved hills, lies one of Patagonia's most mysterious sites, La Cueva del Milodon, or the Cave of the Milodon. This enormous cavern, more than 650 feet deep and 100 feet high, is a portal into deep time. It was here, in 1895, that a local settler discovered a piece of strange, furry hide preserved by the cold, dry air. Scientists soon identified it as belonging to a Milodon, an extinct giant ground sloth that once roamed southern Patagonia more than 10,000 years ago. The discovery caused an international sensation. Some even believed the creature might still be alive, hiding somewhere in the remote valleys of Chilean Patagonia. Though that hope faded, the cave became a key archaeological site, revealing not only the bones of prehistoric animals, but also evidence of early human presence: stone tools, hearths, and bones marked by cuts. This was a place where humans and megafauna once coexisted, hunting, sheltering, and surviving on the edge of the last ice age. Walking into the cave today feels like stepping into another world. The temperature drops, sounds fade, and the walls seem to hold the breath of prehistory. A life-sized replica of the Milodon stands at the entrance, a silent guardian reminding visitors of a time when Patagonia was still wild and untamed, inhabited by giants. But beyond its scientific importance, the Cueva del Milodon is a symbol of endurance, of life's persistence in even the harshest conditions. Here, time moves slowly, and the ancient world lingers just beneath the surface. It's a place where the boundary between myth and history blurs, whispering the timeless truth of Patagonia, that everything changes, yet somehow nothing ever truly disappears. 8. El Calafate and the Perito Moreno Glacier. Across the border in Argentina lies El Calafate, a once quiet frontier town that has become the gateway to one of Patagonia's most extraordinary natural wonders. the Perito Moreno Glacier. Named after the Argentine explorer and geographer Francisco Perito Moreno, the glacier is not only one of the largest in the southern hemisphere, but also one of the few in the world that is still advancing. The glacier covers nearly 100 square miles with an ice wall that rises over 200 feet above the waterline of Lake Argentino. Seen up close, the color of the ice is astonishing, deep shades of blue, from aquamarine to sapphire, shifting with the light. The soundscape is just as powerful. Deep cracks, thunderous crashes, and the echoing roar as colossal chunks of ice break off and plunge into the lake below. It's a living force, a slow, unstoppable river of ice that moves and breathes like a creature of its own. Visitors stand on wooden walkways and observation decks facing the glacier's front wall, mesmerized by its rhythm. Every few minutes, a section collapses, sending ripples across the turquoise water. Despite centuries of exploration, this spectacle remains one of nature's purest displays of power and impermanence. El Calafate itself has transformed from a small ranching outpost into a vibrant tourist hub, filled with travelers, scientists, and adventurers drawn by the allure of Patagonia's frozen heart. Yet the name Calafate also refers to a local berry, dark blue and sweet, which, according to legend, ensures that anyone who tastes it will one day return to Patagonia. Perhaps that's why so many do, compelled by the glacier's voice, its beauty, and its reminder that time, like ice, never truly stands still. 9. Cueva de las Manos, the Cave of Hands. Deep within the arid steppe of Argentine Patagonia lies one of the most hauntingly beautiful archaeological sites in South America, Cueva de las Manos, or the Cave of Hands. Hidden along the cliffs of the Pinturas River Canyon, the cave's walls are covered with hundreds of stenciled handprints, painted in red, black, white, and ochre more than 9,000 years ago. Most of the hands are small, belonging to women and adolescents, suggesting that this was not the work of hunters alone, but a communal act of expression. Using hollow bones as primitive airbrushes, the ancient artists placed their hands on the rock and blew pigment over them, leaving behind the negative outlines we see today. Layer upon layer of prints tells of generations returning to the same sacred place to mark their presence, to connect with the land, and perhaps to speak across time. Interspersed among the hands are drawings of guanacos, wild llamas, hunting scenes, and abstract geometric shapes. These images reveal the spiritual and survival world of early Patagonian peoples who lived by tracking herds across the harsh landscape. Though their voices are lost, their art remains, vivid and immediate, bridging millennia. Standing before the painted walls, one feels an overwhelming sense of continuity. The hands seem to reach out from the stone itself, an ancient chorus whispering, "We were here." It's not just a message from the past, but a reflection on human existence. Our desire to leave a mark, to be remembered, to affirm that we once belonged to the earth. Cueva de las Manos is more than archaeology. It's a testament to human creativity and connection, reminding us that even in the planet's remotest corners, art has always been our way of saying we exist. 10. General Carrera Lake and the Marble Caves. In the heart of Chilean Patagonia lies one of the most mesmerizing natural wonders on Earth, General Carrera Lake and its breathtaking marble caves, Cuevas de Mármol. Formed over 6,000 years ago by the constant movement of waves, these smooth marble formations are sculpted into arches, columns, and caverns that seem almost unreal. The lake itself, known as Lago General Carrera in Chile and Lago Buenos Aires across the Argentine border, is the largest in Chile and the second largest in South America. Its waters shimmer in hues of turquoise and sapphire, changing color with the light, clouds, and seasons. The marble caves lie near the tiny village of Puerto Rio Tranquilo. accessible only by boat. As one drifts into the caves, sunlight filters through the lake's blue surface, reflecting off the polished marble walls and painting the interior with swirls of electric blue, white, and silver. Each chamber feels like entering a cathedral sculpted by time. The marble's intricate veins, created by calcium carbonate dissolved and reshaped by glacial water, resemble brushstrokes from an artist's hand. The silence inside the caves is profound. Only the soft lapping of water echoes off the stone, as if nature itself is breathing. Scientists describe it as pure chemistry, erosion, mineral transformation, and light refraction. But standing there, surrounded by blue light and rippling reflections, it feels more like magic than science. The marble caves are fragile and ever-changing. Rising water levels and shifting weather patterns slowly reshape them, reminding visitors that beauty in Patagonia is transient yet eternal. To witness them is to see the patience of nature, how thousands of years of wind, water, and stone can create something as delicate and divine as light itself carved into rock. End. Cajón del Maipo and the farewell to Patagonia. Our journey through Patagonia ends where mountains and rivers meet, in Cajón del Maipo, a dramatic gorge carved by the Maipo River, just southeast of Santiago, Chile. Here, the Andes rise like a wall of stone, their peaks reflected in the turquoise waters of Embalse El Yeso, a vast reservoir perched 8,200 feet above sea level. Built in the 1960s, it stores over 60 billion gallons of glacier melt, supplying most of Santiago's drinking water during the dry months. This region is alive with the geological pulse of the Andes. Magma stirs deep below, shaping volcanic peaks and feeding natural hot springs that bubble up through cracks in the earth. Among the most famous are Termas de Colina, where steaming terraces cascade down the mountain slopes, forming pools of milky blue water that range from soothing warmth to near boiling heat. The combination of snow, steam, and silence creates an atmosphere both surreal and sacred, a reminder of how close life and fire coexist beneath the skin of the earth. Cajón del Maipo is more than a scenic finale. It is a reflection of Patagonia's eternal contrasts: ice and flame, isolation and resilience, fragility and strength. From the glaciers of Perito Moreno to the penguin colonies of Tierra del Fuego, from marble caves to ancient handprints, Patagonia has revealed itself as a land where time feels suspended and nature reigns supreme. As the journey northward ends, the Andes stretch on, endless, unbroken, majestic. Beyond them lie deserts, jungles, and cities, each with their own rhythm. But Patagonia remains unique, a vast frontier at the edge of the world where wind, water, and stone still speak in the oldest language of all, the language of wonder.